What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and we're at it again with another episode. And in today's content, we'll be doing an increased focus on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9. Specifically, we'll be performing an unbox, overview, first impressions, and pairing ideas with this tablet. So here we have the 11-inch model, but there's two more variations. There is a 12.4-inch option and a 14.6 option, but regardless of the option you choose, these all carry the Amoled 2X display for in-depth detail. That being said, the 11-inch model is obviously the most affordable option, but the only compromises you'll make here is going to be display size and the battery spec. When it comes to other specs such as the processor, GPU, and cameras, these all appear to be the same across the range, and this is going to simplify the choice for the consumer. We're also going to have other standard features across the board, such as Vision Booster, which automatically adjusts brightness and contrast in varying light conditions to give you the best picture. So again, I opted for the 11-inch unit you see here because I figured it would be easiest to carry. Now, of course, you may be wondering why I didn't opt for the 12.4-inch or the 14.6-inch, and that's because I have an Asus CX55 Cloud Gaming Chromebook, which I'm in the process of covering, and that has a larger display if it is in demand. So returning to the unbox, we're going to have Galaxy Tab branding somewhat in the middle of the package, as well as Galaxy Tab S9 branding towards the bottom. And then we have an image of the Tab S9 in the center there. It displays just how thin this hardware is going to be. So this is looking very promising. And I did opt for the graphite option, but there is a beige option, which is almost cream-like color based on site images. Now, of course, I opted for graphite because me being a minimalist, I love anything dark or black, such as the graphite or the sinister sounding obsidian. Any of those colors, I just love them. Now, interesting note, this model is available in two specs. So there's going to be the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, or the 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. But if you pre-order, you're going to automatically get a storage upgrade, and that's going to give you this spec here, which is going to be the 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. And to be honest, I'd recommend this spec anyways, because most likely you'll be downloading lots of apps, games, documents, and offline music and video. So flipping over here, packaging states the included items. So we're going to have the Tab S9 11-inch unit. We're going to have an S Pen, USB-C to USB-C cable, quick start guide, and terms and conditions. And then real quick, I want to get a side profile of the packaging. May be hard to see on camera, but again, very thin. So this is very promising because this tablet should be very thin as well. But all things said, let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, there's no knife needed here. We're going to have these pull tabs. So I'm going to start at one here. Always satisfying, these peel nice and clean. So we're going to flip over here, and ideally the lid should slide off nice and smooth, and we're greeted with Samsung branding, of course. So this should be the tablet, and we're going to have a nice convenient pull tab where we can lift the tablet out. And this is going to be very thin here, very thin profile, very sleek. I could see some of the chassis there. This is really thin. So I'm going to set this to the side so we could take a look at our other contents. We're obviously going to have the S Pen there. That looks pretty much like what we get with the Z Fold series. And then if we take a closer look, we're going to have two packages here. So just to make sure I'm right here, I'm going to lift this out. Yes, this should be our product information here. Looks like, oh no, I'm actually wrong. That's going to be our USB-C to USB-C cable in there. See, that's why we double check these things. And it's going to be a white cable. I'll actually pull that out here so that we can get a good view. It's a standard looking cable. It doesn't have Samsung branding on the ends. So it looks very generic looking. I kind of wish like there would be some nice Samsung branding on there, just so you can keep track of your cables, especially if you're going to eventually give this to a friend or You know, if you want to pass it on to someone in the future, you can know, oh, this is the official Samsung cable. And then in this very light package here, we're going to have what looks like a SIM ejection tool. Now, this is the Wi-Fi model, so I'm not sure why we would have this, but you know, it probably is for a SD card. And then we should have product information in there. I see some letter in there. So ideally, if we were to open this, we would have some product information in there, some paper materials. And I like to try to remember where everything went. I'm just kind of like that. But anyways, let's take a closer look at the Tab S9 11-inch unit. We've got like a little bit of envelope construction here. So it's like a package in a package, but I'm liking how thin this is. That paper material definitely feels recycled, very good for the environment. But here we are with the Tab S9 11-inch unit. Now I will say my first impressions, I thought the bezels would be a little bit slimmer, but this isn't a deal breaker here because you want to have a place to put your thumbs without interacting with the display. Now I'm going to tilt the unit up here so that you can get a side profile, hopefully get an idea of how thin this device is. Now it is IP68 rated, which means that it can be submerged in 5 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. So picking up the tablet here, we're going to get a visual and weight check of the unit here. Now there is some adhesive tape on the sides, which I normally leave on. I'm going to be putting a case on this anyways, and a display protector. But overall, this feels really good in the hand. It weighs about 1 pound, 1.10 pounds to be exact. And it's manageable, those larger units like the 12.4 and the 14.6, especially that 14.6, that's a super size me option. That may be a bit burdensome, but this, it's going to be great for carrying. This is a carry tablet for sure. And if we turn to the side, looks like we're going to have our AKG tuned speakers. Now this is a quad setup, so we're going to have 2 on the left and 2 on the right. This should create an all-around immersive audio experience. Great for gaming, great for video watching, great for music. And these speakers also have Dolby Atmos support. So overall, I'm expecting the audio experience to be preem here. And then it's always interesting to wonder where the USB-C port will be. It's going to be on the right side of the tablet, and that's going to be a USB-C 3.2 Gen 1 port. Now I do want to flip over here so that you can get a view of the back of the tablet. And here we are. You can get a better look at the graphite color. We have some interesting lines here that I wasn't expecting. And again, we have some branding here, sound by AKG. Now what's going to make up most of the weight of this tablet is the battery, of course. And this is an 8,400 milliamp hour unit rated for up to 15 hours runtime. And it does support super fast charging. And if we take a closer look, we're going to have our rear facing camera. Now on the 11-inch model, all you're going to get is a 13 megapixel spec. But if you step up to the 12.4 or the 14.6, you're going to get the 13 megapixel spec, but also an 8 megapixel ultra wide. And if we flip over here, yes, we are going to have a front facing camera, which is going to be great for things like video calls. And this is going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide unit. It's going to be the same for the 12.4. But if you step up to the 14.6, you'll get that 12 megapixel ultra wide and also a 12 megapixel. But anyways, let's go ahead and power this on. We're going to have a power button at the top of the unit as well as a volume rocker to the right of that. And it looks like there's also a tray there for an SD card, again, just to expand your storage. So I'm going to put this in the down position and I'm going to hold the power button there. Wait for this to turn on. We've got the Samsung Galaxy branding secured by Knox. A lot of this looks like what you would see on a Samsung Galaxy smartphone. Now, while this is powering on, I also want to mention that that front-facing camera supports face recognition. That's how you can unlock this tablet, just like you would unlock other devices like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. So after refocusing the camera here, we have a clearer view of the display. Now I wish there was a colorful background here on the welcome screen so that you can get an idea of display performance. But you're not going to get that in this episode. This is simply an unboxing. I'm trying to keep it simple, but I will be doing more videos of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 11-inch unit here. So stay tuned. But I do want to say that this display is backed by the Qualcomm Adreno 720 platform, which also supports ray tracing. Now, I'm not sure how good that ray tracing is, but I am very interested to see the kind of performance that we get with games, especially with cloud games. And there is a keyboard accessory from Samsung available for the Galaxy Tab S9, but I'm actually going to be using my own keyboard because I'm also going to be using my own case for the Tab S9 that may not be compatible with that keyboard case option. So here we have the ProtoArc foldable keyboard. I think this is really cool because it's fold-in technology is all the hype now, whether you're getting the Z Flip or the Z Fold. So why not have a fold-in keyboard? Very portable, and it's a pretty cool talking piece. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And then we're going to be installing a Spigen Tough Armor Pro case as well as a paper fill screen protector from Bursum. I don't really know that brand all that well, but I thought that the paper fill screen protector might be pretty cool because it should give us a paper-like feel when it comes to using the S Pen. I really want to try to use the S Pen on this device more. Of course, we got the S Pen for the Z Fold series, but I don't really use it all that much because as big as the Z Fold is when it's unfolded, it doesn't feel big enough to use comfortably. And I think a Tab S9 will fill that void. A good transport solution is also important, and here we have the Mark Ryden laptop backpack, which can also accommodate the tablet here, and it fits perfectly in the enclosure. So I am going to unvelcro here. We can slide the tablet out, or we can slide it back in. It's like this is the perfect size for this pocket, and there is going to be a strap here to secure the tablet so that it doesn't slide out of place. So that is it for today's content. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please leave a like. If you're watching on YouTube and have any questions or comments, as always, drop those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, there are 3 ways you can support the content. The first way is to click on the Amazon storefront link in the description below. There you'll find items that I have bought or would buy, and anything you buy from the storefront does support the content. The next way you can show your support is by sharing this content with someone who might enjoy it or find it useful. And the last way you can show your support is by clicking the subscribe button. Now, liking and subscribing are important because those are your ways to vote on whether you like the content. Liking and subscribing are also important for new viewers and listeners. If new viewers and listeners see likes and subscribers, they're going to think that the content is helpful, worth watching, and listening to. And as always, thanks for watching, and may the universe flow in your favor. And until next time, Leon checking out.
You